Okay, so I just watched WWE Fastlane, and I'm a bit of a wrestling fan. I don't know if you knew that. So I'm going to start giving little opinion pieces on each pay-per-view. And what a one to start with. Fastlane. As of yet, there has not been a good Fastlane. It just hasn't. This is just the pay-per-view that just kills your hopes and dreams. And as I've got nothing else to do, you can watch me stack some shelves while I talk about it. Right. So the first match was Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe. Yeah, it was okay. Zayn put on a good match. There's nothing really special going on. It was pretty much a vehicle for Joe to look strong, and he did. He won. He made Sami Zayn pass out in the Coquina Clutch. There were a couple of rough spots. I mean, Samoa Joe is a pretty stiff worker. There's a bit where Sami Zayn he was in the surfboard submission maneuver, and Joe sort of toppled over, and all the weight was leaning on Sami's neck. It looked awful. And then there was another bit where Sami got tossed over, and I think he landed on his head again. So yeah, poor Sami Zayn. God. I don't know what they're going to do with Sami, but yeah, at least Joe looks good, as always. Up next was Enzo and Cass versus Gallows and Anderson. Tag team titles. Everyone knew how this was going to go. I mean, people love Enzo and Cass, but they weren't quite there in terms of titles, and so Gallows and Anderson won. Kind of a strange way. Carl Anderson kneed Enzo on the side of the head as he was getting into the ring, and then pinned him. But he was right next to the ropes, and Enzo got his foot up on the ropes, but Luke Gallows pushed it off, and so the ref didn't see. And so, yeah, Gallows won. Fair enough. But Enzo's arm was under the rope, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that means that wouldn't have counted either. But that wasn't part of the story, so that didn't go down like that. Next match was Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks. It was okay. Jax was kicking Banks' ass from corner to corner, and then Sasha won with a roll up. So I was like, oh, okay. Pretty uneventful that one. Then there were two matches that were unannounced. Previous. Because there was this argument between Jinder Mahal and Handsome Rusev. And so Mick Foley gave them matches. There were two matches, and they were quite long. And they were completely unannounced on a pay-per-view, which is really weird. So what happens is Mahal and Rusev argue. They sort of fight each other, and then Mahal kicks Rusev in the head, puts him over the barricade. And then Cesaro comes out to fight Mahal. I kept thinking, what, has Rusev been knocked out by that? And makes him look kind of weak. But no, he's just waiting. So Cesaro wins. Can't even remember what he used to win now. Yeah, I wasn't watching, I was in the kitchen. And then Rusev beats up Mahal, and the Big Show comes out, and he fights Rusev, and the Big Show is just kicking Rusev's balls. Just like absolutely dominating him. It was embarrassing. I mean, you remember back when Rusev was the United States champion and he was undefeated, and he just kept kicking anyone's ass who challenged him. One of those people was the Big Show, and he just did. He annihilated the Big Show. And now, for some reason, I mean, the Big Show's in a lot better shape. It's been getting into shape for Wrestlemania, with this possible match with Shaq. I guess they wanted him to look strong, so he destroyed Rusev. Rusev got in a couple of good, moves, but in the end. God, he's chokeslammed him 3 times and then sort of propped him up in the corner and did a stupid knockout punch. It was lame. It was basically 2 matches that were a complete waste of time. And then, probably the best match of the night was the Cruiserweights. I know, right? Gentleman Jack Gallagher versus Nev Heel for the Cruiserweight Championship. And it was a fucking good match. They had a long time to work. There was a lot of great spots. Gallagher put up a really, really good fight. And almost came within winning. And actually made it really believable that he might actually beat Neville. And there was even a "This is awesome" chant from the audience. And that was the only one of the night. Was for the Cruiserweights. Yeah, there were some great spots. There was an overhead suplex where Jack Gallagher had landed on his head. That looked pretty nasty. By the end, his body was all welted and bruised. But yeah, in the end, Neville won with his red arrow, and it was pretty good. Yeah, it was, I'd say, the match of the night, easily. Then after that, New Day comes out peddling their ice cream bars. That was weird. I don't even really want to talk about that. And then Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. Ugh. I mean, this match was sort of like slow and plodding as you'd expect from Reigns. Big fella. I mean, Braun's doing really well. And I reckon he should have won. But of course, Roman wins. Just Roman wins, lol. As the new Cena wins. But yeah, there was this brutal bit where they're out on the outside of the ring. And Reigns is running to spear Braun, and Braun just catches him and just does a running body slam onto the table. It just annihilates him and puts him into the ring, and then Reigns gets up, completely no-sells it. It was awful. I can't remember if it was then or it was earlier, because Reigns had speared Braun, but it didn't pin him. And I think, yeah, it was one of the only times people are kicked out of the spear. And then bang, bang. He kept cocking his fist for those stupid Superman punches. And he speared him again, and he won. And the crowd actually cheered, which is very surprising to me. But yeah. So yeah, Braun Strowman, never been pinned or submitted. And the guy who beats him is Roman Reigns. Of course. Why not? Ugh, yeah. That one left a sour taste in my mouth. Then there was Bayley versus Charlotte for the Women's Championship. This was a pretty good match. Charlotte looked really good. She was vicious and brutal. And Bayley put on some good offense. And of course, Charlotte had been undefeated on pay-per-views. She was 16-0. And she loses to Bayley. Not that I think that's a bad thing, but on Fastlane it was kind of wasted, I think. I reckon they should have done that at WrestleMania, where Bayley wins the title. In fact, I don't think Bayley should have won it on Raw. Because, yeah. I think WrestleMania would have been a much better place for Bayley to sort of do her climb to the championship, just like she did in NXT, and that was brilliant. You remember fucking Bayley versus Charlotte at NXT TakeOver? Yeah, we could have had that. Well, something like that at WrestleMania, but and at the end of the match, Sasha comes down to the ring just to sort of fuck with Charlotte, and which is kind of a shitty thing to do because she had no reason to be there. Charlotte wasn't cheating. She just sort of came down there to distract her, and I think she even made contact, and so Bayley should have been disqualified, which meant that Charlotte would have won the match, but not won the title, and so I guess that technically her streak would have stayed intact. Yeah, that was just weird. So yeah, Bailey wins with her belly to Bailey. And that was that. She kept her title. So that was okay. And then the final match of the night. Kevin Owens versus Goldberg. I mean, way to shit on one of the most hard-working employees, one of the most dedicated, you know, Kevin Owens, his first ever world title run, pretty much the only Universal Champion, because Finn Balor had to vacate it after a day. No. And then, in 30 seconds, he gets beaten by Goldberg with a spear and a jackhammer. Admittedly, Chris Jericho came out to distract him. It's like, fine, he's distracted. But then, then you think, why didn't Chris Jericho have a match for his US title earlier in the night? I don't know. But yeah, so we're going to get Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg at WrestleMania for the world title. It'll probably be the main event. 2 part-timers. I really hoped that, tried to pull a shocker on us and had Kevin Owens beat Goldberg in 30 seconds. That would have been amazing. That would have been so different. That would have just... But no. Goldberg wins. Or whatever. I guess Kevin Owens and Jericho are going to feud now for the US title at WrestleMania. And they'll have a good feud because they're amazing. Chris Jericho's fantastic. But whatever. I wonder if Lesnar and Goldberg are going to have an actual match at WrestleMania, or are they going to have another 2-minute squash? Because you remember their last actual match at WrestleMania was one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time. Maybe we can get Stone Cold back to stun them both. Anyway, I haven't done much myself yet, but I've started. Down there's the big box computer games. Basically, I'm rearranging my room is what I'm doing. There's some other my shelves. Board games up the top. And yeah, that was my opinions on WWE Fastlane.